I feel like a pawn of Zack. We just got out of an interview, and he said that you were a particularly good singer.
Brilliant
he said that you had the voice of an English angel, and maybe we thought that you could sort of introduce the interview with maybe just a little song.
Just a note.
He's 100% right, and it's something which is a really close passion of mine.
Yeah.
I love singing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I've got a really big singing day tomorrow, and so I've got to try and save my voice. But under normal circumstances, I would do.
Look, another time.
Yeah. Fair enough. I really appreciate your passion.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Henry, thank you so much for hanging with us. So the film is out. The world has seen it. That's a big thing. It's huge.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about everything, really?
The biggest feeling is that everyone that has finally gotten to see it. It's been a long time coming. I auditioned for this first in December 2010 for this movie.
Wow.
And we're now, what are we, June?
13.
June 2013. So it's been quite a journey. And finally, almost the whole world has seen it. And people are liking it. And that's the really important thing, because we've put a lot of time and effort into this movie and to telling this story. And we're happy that people enjoyed it or are enjoying it as much as we enjoyed making it.
Oh, good. Well, it's been a big month for you as well, touring pretty much the world. Exhausted?
It's a sense of exhaustion. It's a different kind of thing. It's not like working on the job exhaustion, because that was, really quite grueling. This is something else entirely. It's not exactly relaxing, because I've been in 9 different cities.
Wow.
Over the past month or less, and so it's just kind of hopping about the place and doing a lot of press, and it's going through that many time zones is a new experience.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, look, I utterly enjoyed it. I thought it was great. This guy over here, though, kind of lost it.
I have a confession. I cried from 15 minutes in. I'm not even joking. I'm not I honestly started crying. 15 minutes in, and I did not stop. Every time Kevin Costner came on the screen, waterworks, at the end credits, wipe the 3D glasses, fogging up.
His face.
A lot of that, I think, was the vulnerability of the character.
Yeah.
Why do you think that was so important?
Because so much has been taken for granted previously, and the character which we represent in the movie has always been in the comic books, but in previous live action, it's always been, it's an invulnerable alien that flies and saves cats from trees and stuff and, never does wrong. And you're like, okay, well, I guess that's cool. But if we genuinely discovered an alien amongst us, how would we react? And more importantly, how would that alien feel? Especially if his responsibility was actually looking after the world, because if we discovered that, it would turn us on our head, just like Jonathan says.
Yeah.
And that makes you ask a lot of questions. And so living as that character sort of is really important. Yeah. And it's just the way that we chose to tell it is what created that, I think.
Mm. Cool. So were you a fan of Superman before you got the part? And look, be honest here, did you read any of the comics or watch any of the cartoons?
Be honest.
You can be on. Be honest.
Yeah, I've always been honest from the beginning.
Yes.
I watched some of the movies and TV shows when I was a kid, but was not a comic book reader. Yes, was not a comic book reader at all until I got this role, and then delved and jumped right in. But I was always a fan of Superman as a kid. Pretending to be Superman, running around the garden and stuff. But I wasn't an avid comic book reader, which I kind of like, because when I got the role, it's kind of like either being a fan of a TV show and waiting each week for the new episode to come out, or waiting until it's all done and then getting the box set.
Yeah.
And I got to do the box set, which I loved, because I got to sort of be fully wrapped up. And for research, as far as an actor goes, that's perfect. That's the perfect way of doing it. And I'm really glad I got that opportunity.
Beautiful.
Awesome. Well, obviously there are so many incarnations of this character. Where did you get your inspiration from?
The comics. My comics...
Which one?
Yeah, my baseline character was drawn from Death of Superman, The Return of Superman, Red Sun, and Superman, Batman, The Search for Kryptonite.
Good memory.
Excellent.
Those are just... They had so many different facets of the character involved that I could apply to the framework of the script that really, really mattered to me. Like Death, obviously, He's willing to make the ultimate sacrifice and do whatever it takes to protect everyone. And then return, you get to see how everyone perceives him, which is a great thing, because that's what I needed. I needed sort of the world's view on this character from so many different angles, and yet none of them worked. None of them were actually Superman, even though they fulfilled all the criteria.
Yeah.
And what makes Superman special is that extra thing.
Yeah.
Red Sun didn't matter where he's from, he still was the same guy, even though he was raised differently. And when it comes to Superman, Batman's Search of Kryptonite, he gives someone the way to stop him if he were to ever go AWOL. And those things, you apply to the framework of this script, it just makes such a huge difference.
We all know sort of physically what you went through for the role of Kal-El. What about mentally preparing yourself? I imagine that would be tough.
There's certainly a difficulty to that kind of thing. But having been a kid in school without that many mates, I spent a lot of time sitting on the outside looking in. I had no problem with that. It's not a sob story. I actually quite liked it. And then being an actor and living a fairly lonesome life, constantly travelling, making new friends, you get very used to sitting in coffee shops by yourself, you know, with a book or something, and if you want to get out into the open world as opposed to staying in a hotel room or, you know, at home or whatever, you do sit in a coffee shop or a park and you watch the world go by. And that's, you understand this, and that's the way it works. And so I just applied that to the character, and it's not necessarily like a sad thing, it's just a state of being, and you see Clark doing that. He's not upset, he's just, that's how he goes about life, because that's the only way he's known it. And so the mental preparation in that case wasn't too far of a stretch. The mental preparation to deal with like mega long hours and just keeping on going for 6 months, that's after 5 months of training, was tough. And there's no prep you can do from that, apart from just getting stuck in. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, look, before we go, Topher actually said the other day that he...
This could be taken out of context.
It's totally in context. He said that he could take Superman on in an arm wrestle because, and I quote, I did a bit of boxing, right?
I've just started doing a little bit of boxing, and I think...
Look, I think you can do it.
Got some guns there.
Look,
Thank you. Yeah. Just one.
Would you do it, Henry? I mean, can you...
You know what? We'll save it for later.
Yeah.
We'll go for a pint or something, and then give you an arm
Don't
wrestle.
tell me that if we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I can't promise you can do it when I'm back. When I'm back.
And the singing as well. I mean, there's all these promises.
Yeah, there's
I don't
singing.
really...
When you see sort of promises, I do always live up to my promises. I just don't say when.
Beautiful.
Right.
Thank you for being such a good sport.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Cheers.